Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Today I want to share with you about vows. When you make a vow to God, make sure that you fulfill your vow that you've made, the vow that you've made unto the Lord. I want to share with you from Ecclesiastes chapter 5, from verse 4 to 5, verse 5 it says, "When you make a vow to God, do not delay to pay it, for he has no pleasure in fools. Pay what you have vowed. Better not to vow than to vow and not to pay." It is better for you to not make a vow and than to make a vow which you are not going to pay, which you are not going to fulfill. So many times when we're in a situation, when we're in a situation where we are desperate, we tend to make vows. We tend to make vows. We tend to make promises. We say that, God, if you get me this job, I will make sure that all my first fruits, I'll make sure that my first fruit, after I get this job, I'm going to bring it to the house of the Lord. You make a vow to God, that if you get me this child, I'm going to dedicate this child to the Lord. Now, after God getting you that child, you are taking the child into witchcraft. You are dedicating the child to demons. You ask God that, you pray, God, if you bless me, if you bless me with my own home, I'll worship you in my house. I'll glorify you in my house. I'll testify of it. Now God blesses you with your own house, with your own home, and in your own home you are doing witchcraft. You are doing a lot of dark stuff. You have forgotten the Lord. You make a vow that, God, if you make me wealthy, if you make me a millionaire, if you make me, a billionaire, if you make me so rich, if you make my business so prosperous, I will not forget to give the glory to you. Now God has done it for you. You have become successful. You have become a millionaire. You have become a billionaire. Now you are ashamed of Christ. Yet he's the one you prayed to, and he answered your prayers. You are not fulfilling your vow. You made vows to God. Fulfill your vow. It is better for you, as the word has said in verse 5, Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 5, better not to vow than to vow and not to pay. It is better for you to not make a vow than to make a vow which you are not going to pay. Make a vow that you're going to pay. Do not forget your vows. I'm speaking to you who is watching this and you made a vow to God and you haven't fulfilled it. Fulfill your vow. Do not delay. Do it now. Fulfill your vow. Do what you promised to God. Do what you promised to God. Let's pray.